The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, City of San Luis, Arizona, on your new Pierce Fire apparatus, job number 37252. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting first at the face of the front bumper, you'll find electronic siren and PA speakers recessed into the bumper. Just inside that location, you'll find dual air horns. Moving up onto the top of the bumper extension, you'll find your fire bell on the passenger side. Just inside that location, you'll find 2 tow hooks protruding up through the top plate. Located in the center, you'll find a tubbed storage location for your front discharge. As we move to the driver's side, top of the deck, you'll find your mechanical siren. And as we move to the cab face on the outer edge, you'll find your turn indicator marker light. Just inside that location is the headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. The high beam is located on the inside. Directly above that, emergency warning light cluster. As we move to the Pierce logo, directly behind that is where you'll find your release mechanism to gain access into the hood area. As we move to the A pillar, you'll find your mirror with a flat and convex mirror controlled from within inside the cab. There are 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. As we move up to the very top of the brow of the apparatus, you'll find identification clearance lights and also slightly angled floodlights. Moving up to the face of the bucket area, you'll find identification clearance lights. Also, just on the top section, you'll find emergency warning lights. Moving further up, you'll find 2 2.5-inch discharges. Located in the center, you'll find your master stream device, and then also 2 forward-facing floodlights. You'll also find the bracket for the life system. Let's go ahead and take a look at the full view of the apparatus now. This will be from the driver's side. And we'll move into the cab section. Let's first start with the front axle, where you'll find Michelin tires, Alcoa wheel, and a visual sight gauge in the center of the axle area. As we move also to the front area, you'll find a discharge drain. On the bumper extension, a recessed emergency warning light. Moving now to the top section, mechanical siren. Then as we move to the very bottom, this is an auto eject 20 amp. This is for your air conditioning unit. Just above that, you'll find an additional auto eject. This is your shoreline power. It does have an indicator along with the shoreline power indicating battery status. Moving up, you'll find once again that marker turn indicator light. Also, you'll find a side-facing camera located on the A pillar. Easily accessible with a gloved hand. These are your door lock and latch combination. They are keyed, and also right next to that you'll find grab handles for gaining entry and exit into the vehicle. As we move to the rear cab, you'll find a lower zone emergency warning light side facing. And as we move up to the very top, the roof area, you'll find emergency warning light bar. Moving over the front axle is where you'll find a side-facing scene light. As we move to the very rear, you'll find a water level LED indicator for tank status. Also in the very front section, you'll find upper zone emergency warning lights. Let's take a look at the rear section, where you'll find 3 emergency warning lights. This is part of your emergency warning light lower zone. In addition, you have 2 lights located just above the or below the compartments here. Those are part of the lower zone also. As we move up to the top, side facing floodlights, and then also these are your stabilizer cameras. We'll go over those in just a few moments. And folding wheel chocks just in front of your tandem rear axles. To the rear of the axle, you'll find your stabilizer pads. We'll move around to the rear of the apparatus, just general locations. On the outer edge, you'll find a marker turn indicator. Just inside that location, you'll find the emergency warning light cluster, brake, turn, and reverse light. Just above that, you'll find a cupped switch. This turns on the rear scene lights. As we move upward from this location, emergency warning lights on each side. These are the scene lights just inside of that location here with a switch on the rear. That's the cup switch at the bottom. As we move back down to the bottom, you'll find tow hooks located in the lower portion. Just inside that location, you'll find the Pierce logo American flag eagle. That is your aerial inlet. Right next to that, you'll find an aerial inlet gauge. And then beneath that, you'll find an inclinometer for left to right. At the very top, you'll find your backup camera. As we move around to the passenger side, this is the side your exhaust is ported from. Let's move to the cab section, same configuration and layout. And now let's go ahead and take a look at some close-ups of those front section. As we look into the tubbed storage location, you'll find dry deck material on the lower section, swivel 1.5" discharge front bumper. This is foam capable. General view. As we move to the Pierce logo, directly behind the Pierce logo on the grille area is where you find the release mechanism to access the hood area. Once accessed, you'll find on the passenger side the fill location for your windshield wiper fluid. Moving to the driver's side, you'll find the recovery location for your radiator fluid. Moving just inside that location, a placard here for cab lift instructions for raise and lower. You'll also find the remote for raise and lower. This is the activation switch. You'll also find a switch which is protected for either the option of raise or lower. That's the position switch. And then moving to the very far right, you'll find the fill location for your power steering. Let's move to the bucket area. Just underneath, you'll find 2 protruding tow hooks in the lower section. As we move forward to that location, you'll find your downward spraying sprinkler. There are also 2 front bumpers located in the lower section for the aerial device. As we move up to the top, there are 3 access panels located in the very bottom section. Just a couple items within this area. First, this is the down sprinkler. As we move just in forward position of that, there is a drain valve. And then at the very front section, you'll find a temperature reading gauge for air temperature. Onto the side facing emergency warning lights. Down at the very bottom section at the bumper, close up here of the front bumper light, and then also auto ejects. As we move now into the cab space, let's first start with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information. Just up from that location is your combination door latch and lock. And then just above that, you'll find electric window controls and a grab handle. Let's move down to the step well area. We'll start at the very bottom of the step where you'll find your air shutoff and also an air inlet outlet. You'll also find jumper studs located in the upper portion for positive and negative. As we move inside the cab area, I would like to point out the yellow placard located here. This is a placard manufactured by Pierce, the manufacturer, indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation. It has the VIN number. Also, it houses all the information regarding component, fluid capacity, and fluid type. About the left knee of the operator is where you'll find the engine, transmission, ABS diagnostic port, also the tech module and display port. Just below that, you'll find the ABS diagnostic switch, DPF regen switch, engine diagnostics, and regen inhibit. To the steering wheel, you'll find your vehicle is equipped with airbags. This is your SRS airbag deployment location. You'll also find on the outer edge on the left side, controls here on the steering column itself, air horn and lighting. As we move to the right, you'll also find emergency warning lights and windshield wiper control. As we move to the dash cluster on the left, you'll find your 4-way flasher or hazard start ignition switch. Also, emergency master, that's the small switch in the lower portion that will engage or disengage all emergency lights. To the right, you'll find your headlight switch and also a panel switch, which allows you to brighten or dim lights within preview of the operator. On the opposite side of the column, OK to engage your high idle indicator and switch. On the left, you'll find your transmission, oil, def level, and water temp gauges. To the right, front air, rear air, fuel and volts, tachometer and speedometer located directly in the center. Diagnostic information about your vehicle will display above and below with tally lights and information center in the very center. Let's take a quick look just to the right of the operator's seat. I'd like to start with the pull to apply your system parking brake. It's the yellow diamond on your left. As we move to the right, you'll find your visual indicator screen. Also, this is the screen that allows you to gain access to all of the vehicle information. It is a touch screen and also function button. To the right, your Allison transmission pad with a informational note to pump in neutral. Some switches here just to the right of this location. Pump switches here for stationary pumping or pump and roll. Also a 12-volt access here via USB style. Moving up to the very center, climate control. We'll go over those in just a few moments. And then also to the rear, your mirror control for the passenger and driver side flat and convex mirror control. Let's go back to the Pierce Command Zone. Tremendous amount of information currently displaying your stabilizers and where they'll be displayed from your stabilizer cameras. Once again, pump in neutral on the Allison transmission pad. As we move to the right, you'll find the Aerial Master Generator PTO, stabilizer camera, platform leveling, a switch for generator on and off, future switch locations, load manager. Just underneath that, engine brake on and off, setting switch, front wheel lock, off-road traction, and mirror heat. Moving just to the right, you'll find the stationary OK to pump and roll, indicator, and also water pump switch, some caution and warning placard information. Moving up from this location is where you're going to find the mirror control for the left and right mirror. And then moving to the forward section, you'll find climate control for heat, defrost, and air conditioning. Moving now to the center section in between the officer and driver, you'll find a 12-volt access. Overhead of the driver position, I'd like to point out the placard on the far left, yellow placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 12 feet 5 inches, length 47 feet 0 inches, a gross vehicle weight rating 84,000 pounds. This also houses the 5-digit job number 37252-01. As we move just to the right of this location, you'll find switches for emergency master, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, upper rear warning, high beam flash, and air horn. Moving just to the right, we'll find an additional switch panel, housing first starting with the driver's side cab scene, driver's side body scene, passenger side cab scene, passenger side body scene, front scene, rear scene, and front basket scene. When any of these lights have been activated, the green light will illuminate, indicating it's on. As we move to the right, you'll find your siren control module and PA speaker system. Directly in the center, you'll find, difficult to see in this image, this is your Haas system. It's toward the front windshield traffic avoidance system. Also a seatbelt information placard indicating red, someone is in the seat and not belted, green, they're in the seat and belted, and also a red flashing light indicating do not move your apparatus. You may have a compartment door open or ajar. As we move to the rear portion of the driver's seat, you'll find an additional access. As we move downward, Michelin tire Alcoa wheel, visual sight gauge indicator. As we move to the rear portion of the cab, let's start with the door panel. Affixed to that door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch combination, electric window control, grab handle, and then a slight angled grab handle. Overhead, you'll find push on and off white or red light lenses, air conditioning, and fans. As we move to the forward section, general view at the center area, 2 seats against the rear cab wall, 2 outer EMS compartments. In the very center section, 12-volt access also, shelving, and also netting here to secure items while in travel. As we move to the outer edge, you'll find your 12-volt access and then also daily checks for oil and transmission. As we move inside those compartments, you'll find a Shoreline outlet and also battery direct 12-volt. Let's move to the exterior now. Just above the pump panel in the lower section, we'll start at the very top. First, with a warning regarding entanglement hazard. Because of the lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. Also, we have crosslays number 3 and crosslays number 4. These are both foam capable crosslays. As we move down to the lower section crosslays, you'll find a long-handled tool storage, and then also crosslay 1 and crosslay 2, once again foam capable in these areas also. These trays will pull outward, so it makes it easier for you to load and unload for after action loading of your hose. In the very center here, this is the release mechanism to release those speed loads. As we move down to the notch section, this is your pump panel on the driver's side. Let's start with the two 2.5 inch discharges located here, driver's side 1 and driver's side 3. These are locally controlled via a ball valve located here at the pump panel. Also a warning regarding pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. Moving just to the right, you'll find the American flag Eagle Pierce logo. This is your large diameter pump inlet. You'll also find the auxiliary foam function. Moving just to the right, you'll find a warning placard indicating fall injury, never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. Also, you'll find a warning placard here indicating foam failure. Do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. At the bottom, color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Also, your auxiliary inlet, 2.5 inch driver's side, 2.5 locally controlled here at the ball valve. We do have a fold outward step. It is tied to the do not move your apparatus if it's left open. Also, as we move to the right, general view, let's start with the pump panel at the very top section. If your pump is properly engaged from inside the cab area, this light will illuminate indicating pump engaged. We have an audible speaker and intercom system here, volume control and push to talk. As we move to the gray module, this is your master intake gauge. Just to the right is the master discharge gauge. Between the two of those are the test gauge ports, and they are currently plugged and are utilized for testing purposes. As we move to the right, you'll find a visual and audible indicator. This is your PCM fault. Let's move down on the pump panel to the discharges. First, we'll start across the very top, all of our color-coded and labeled discharges. These are all foam-capable discharges. To the right, pressure throttle governor. Please see the owner's manual for its operation. As we move further down, you'll find your foam module indicator. This is the foam level. Just to the right, you'll find your Husky 12 foam system module control unit. Below that, you'll find Husky 12 foam operator instructions, and also you'll find system specifications. To the right is your pull to prime primer for your water pump, and then just to the right, you'll find your aerial discharge. It is a wheel valve. Moving further down, we have the tank fill and recirculating line and tank to pump. There are two electric valves located on the passenger side, large diameter and large diameter and also a 2.5 inch discharge. Just a couple of warning placards here indicating only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment only after received proper training. We do have a danger here indicating that the vehicle device is non-insulated. There is electrocution hazard. This is your minimum operation maintenance schedule. We'll go over that in great detail. Also, as we move down, color-coded and labeled discharge drains. As we move just up to the right-hand side, you'll find the pan door. Behind this pan door is the foam fill lever. It's the yellow handle. There are instructions here on the door for its operation. Horizontal for operation, vertical for fill. As we move down, you'll also find the manual pump override. It is a protected switch, and it does have a visual indicator that you've activated. As we move to the side, you'll find all of our scene light control switches. As we move further down, you'll also find the aerial generator PTO and also a generator on-off switch. As we move down, we have a pull-out pump panel step located here. It does retract back in and fold out. This is your minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 PSI test pressures. Associated GPM is on the left-hand side of the placard. On the right is the associated RPM at that test pressure. This does have a governed speed of 2,130 while in pump mode. As we move just over the stabilizer, You'll find in this compartment your battery charger and also air compressor. This is for maintaining batteries for the vehicle and also air pressure for your brakes. Because of the movement of the aerial device stabilizers, we have a crush injury warning placard. As we move inside the next compartment, this is where you'll find the breakers for your generator. In each compartment, you'll find shoreline outlets and 12-volt access. This is labeled G1, which stands for generator. Individual SA1, which are your switches for your receptacles. As we move through the compartment now, you'll find pull-out and tilt downward trays, and also a tool box located in the very forward section. As we move just in front of the rear axle, you'll find the fill location for your DEF tank and also a combination SCBA bottle storage location. This is a 4.5 US gallon DEF tank. Once again, it is the blue cap. Moving in between the two axles, you'll find this placard indicating electrocution hazard. The equipment is non-insulated. SCBA bottle storage here, or SCBA pack storage. As we move to the rear over axle area, you'll find tool boards. There are two located here. They will lock into position on the hinge side. We'll move back now to inside the compartment. You'll find the fill location for your ultra low sulfur diesel. It is the silver cap. Inside the compartment, ventilation and also shoreline and 12-volt access. SCBA bottle storage here with a retaining strap. Once again, ultra low sulfur diesel fill location, silver cap. As we move through the next compartment, you'll find a pull-out tray and pull-out upper portion. The release mechanism for those are located on the right-hand side of the tray. Just as a reminder again on the stabilizers, because of that movement, we do have a warning placard here indicating crush hazard. Also, we have an additional warning placard here that never ride on the vehicle while the vehicle is in motion. That's a warning for fall hazard. As we move in between the step area, you'll find an inclinometer. This is from forward to backwards. General view of all compartments open now. Let's move around now to the rear section of the apparatus. Compartments open to your ladder storage and also hose storage chutes. Let's move into the compartment in the lower section on the left side, where you'll find your emergency stop for your aerial device with an indicator, a override switch which is protected, and then as we move to the right we have a stabilizer power. This is general power for the stabilizers, and then also a diagnostic USB interface location for your maintenance team. Down at the very bottom you'll find a tethered control for your aerial stabilizers for both front and rear, right and left. Just as a caution here, warning, stabilizer stability information placard. As we move toward the center, this is all of your ground ladders and additional long-handled tool storage. As we move to the bottom, a warning placard indicating pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. The Pierce logo, American flag eagle. This is your aerial inlet at the rear. Also inclinometer from left to right, and also a pressure gauge for your aerial inlet. Behind the pan door is a 1.5-inch ball valve drain for your aerial device. In the upper right, there is an additional storage location for a hose chute. General view at the very top with your backup camera and also rear-facing scene lights. As we move around to the passenger step area, you'll find behind the step is an access panel. This is the location for your aerial stabilizer override and also aerial emergency power. Each of these levers are under hydraulic pressure. and therefore we have some warning placards in this area, but these are your rear stabilizers and front stabilizers manual controls. Once again, a danger placard because of high pressure, and also a warning here regarding tip hazard, utilizing the manual controls and safety systems. As we move to the right on the aerial stabilizer panels, you'll also find some warning here regarding fall. Do not ride on the vehicle. Also, while climbing on and off, make sure you face the vehicle, and warning regarding crush hazard. As we move through the compartments, you'll find LED lighting on both passenger and driver side, in addition with inside the compartment on the right and left hand side of the compartment. Ventilation, pull-out trays, adjustable shelves. Release mechanisms for those trays are going to be on the lower right. SCBA bottle storage to the rear, and also additional bottle storage in the upper compartment. As we move to the tandem axle in between these sections, this is pack storage location. Also, once again, danger regarding electrocution hazard. The equipment is non-insulated. Forward pack storage here in front of the rear tandem axle. As we move inside, a pull-out tray with a vertical divider. As we move down, just in front of the rear axle is where your exhaust is located. Extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist during regen operation. Please be cautious where you choose to park your vehicle. Also provide safety protections when in regen operation mode. As we move forward, you'll find an additional compartment. Just above, you'll find 12-volt access once again and shoreline generated outlets. Moving to the very top section, this is directly over the stabilizer. This is where the stabilizer camera is located. Just a warning here regarding crush because of the movement of that device. Moving forward now, at the very top section is where you'll find your electrical cord reel, 200 feet in length. In addition, you'll find 12-volt and shoreline power outlets inside the compartment just below the electrical cord reel. We have a pull-out tray that tilts downward in the upper section and a pull-out tray in the lower floor-mounted, and then one mid-mounted. As we move now to the cross-lay area, same configuration layout as we have on the passenger side as we did on the driver's side. As we move now into the notch area for the additional auxiliary pump panel, in the upper left corner you'll find the push button for the electrical cord reel rewind. You'll also find a warning placard here not to ride on the vehicle while it is in motion. Your strainer located here for your pump. As we move down, you'll find the American flag Eagle Pierce logo. This is going to be your large diameter pump inlet on the passenger side. Also a warning regarding pressure hazard. Caps once again may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. On this side there are the two electric valve controls for the 2.5 inch and large diameter. As you can see, the small oval cutout here, this is an access in case there is an electrical failure for opening and closing manually those electric valves. This is the cord reel rewind, once again 20 amp, 200 feet. And then as we move forward, next to it is the fall injury. Remember to face the vehicle while climbing on and off the vehicle. Close up here of the override. And at the very bottom section, all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Fold-out step in the cross-lay area, once again attached to the do not move your apparatus if this is left open. As we move now into the cab section at the rear, we'll start with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, combination door lock and latch, window control, and a grab handle. As we move inside, you'll find push on and off red or white lens lights, air conditioning unit in the center, and also fans. 2 seats forward facing. This is a clean cab, indicating that there should be no contaminants with inside the cab area. As we move up to the ceiling level, you'll find the SETCOM remote area module. This is just to the rear of the officer seat. General view inside the cab area. At the very top section, you'll find climate control for the fan, heat, air conditioning, and fan speed. As we move back to the exterior, additional storage location, exterior access behind the officer seat. Let's go ahead and move now into the officer's space. First, starting with the door panel. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, combination, door latch and lock, window control, and grab handle. Once again, the vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system and airbag. That's its location here. Also, warning regarding the mounting of equipment within that airbag space. And also warning here, do not remove this red and white candy cane style. This is indicating spare wiring for your maintenance team for additional items that you'll be hooking up after the delivery of your vehicle. Also to the right, a fire bell rope. This allows you to activate the fire bell exterior. As we look overhead, general view, let's go ahead and start down at the dash area where you'll find 12-volt access, and then also your push buttons for your siren brake, mechanical siren, electronic siren. Overhead, we do have a switch panel located here. This does operate driver's side cab scene, driver's side body scene, passenger side cab scene, passenger side body scene, front scene, rear scene, front basket scene, and also an emergency warning activation for all of your emergency warning lights. Just to the left of this location, you'll find your unit radio. General view here of all compartments open now on the passenger side. And then we also have some views here with the stabilizers deployed. As we move to the rear pedestal area, this is an access panel. As we look inside the access panel, this is your aerial device manual controls. These are for your overrides for aerial control. Also a warning regarding tipping hazard. Storage location here for ladder belts. As we move to the pedestal area for controlling your aerial device, let's take a look at that, starting first down at the front section, which is going to be your speaker and also push-to-talk and volume control for the intercom system. General view here, I would like to point out the lower section. This is an audible alarm speaker. As we move now into the controls, we'll start on the upper left with the emergency stop. Moving just to the right, you'll find a manual basket leveling disable. It's a protected switch. Also DC lights and under basket lights. A red air horn switch. And at the lower section, you'll find an aerial speed. This is for aerial speeds for slow, normal in the center, and fast. And then also an emergency hydraulic power. To the right, you'll find the command zone, touchscreen, and also function buttons. As we move down, you'll find a few items on the left-hand side here controlling and information here regarding stow or deploy as far as the nozzle goes. Also stream fog, lower raise, right and left for nozzle control, and then also ladder control for extend, retract, right, left, or lower and raise. On the cover, which is to your left-hand side, you'll find your 100-foot steer aerial platform data placard regarding your vehicle. To the right, you'll find also the information load chart under a 35-mile-an-hour wind condition. We have waterway dry information placard and waterway charged. Also information here regarding your monitor nozzle positions when flowing water. And then also some capacities here regarding asterisk information. Please see the owner's manual for more information in this area. We do have a warning placard here and also danger placards. As we move to the aerial ladder itself, it is a 3-section ladder. We'll take a look at that next. And then we'll start moving our way out to the very end, where you'll find first a 16-foot straight ladder. This is going to be on the left-hand side. As we move to the inner fly, you'll find a 12-foot roof ladder. As we move to the bucket, to the rear portions of the bucket, you'll find additional storage ability for equipment. Moving now just inside the aerial device, you do have placards here regarding warning. This is pertaining to the life bracket system. Also, we have locations here for tethering our personnel to the device for safety with your ladder belt. Once again, this is the information regarding warning regarding the life support, life eye, life winch, and life ladder information. Please see the owner's manual for its proper operation. Let's move back into the items within the aerial basket itself. First, starting with your control module. This is removable and can be moved either to the right or left side depending on your operation. This is the bracket where you would place that device. As we're now looking to the front master stream device, you'll find the two 2.5-inch discharges and also master stream. We're now to the main control unit in the forward section of the aerial. Let's take a look at those items. First, with the intercom, volume control, it is passive. As we move to the controls, we have DC lights and under basket lights, in addition with nozzle control, lower and raise, right and left, stream, straight stream or fog. Also at the very top section, the emergency stop push button, aerial speed for slow, normal, and fast. And then as we move down, we have a protected switch here for enabling your basket leveling. Let's move back to the main control module. It's the same at the base of the aerial with the ladder controls for extend and retract, right and left, lower and raise. As we move to the very bottom section, we have cutouts here so you can access the wheel for those discharges, and then also the life bracket attachment for your front ground ladder. Master stream device located in the center area. You can see the red handle, that is for the life bracket system for utilizing your roof ladder. Information here regarding warning danger placard information. Also, we have the NFPA placard located in the very front regarding your vehicle's control and load chart under waterway dry, charged, and also nozzle positions. This is to the rear of the aerial device where we have additional storage location here for equipment. Looking now from the basket toward the rear of the vehicle, let's take a look with the aerial not in its cradle. So we can see we have our water tank and also foam tank. This is the water tank located here in the very front. And then as we move toward the opposite end, you'll find your foam tank. We do have a placard here indicating foam failure. Do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. The refill hydraulic system oil location here is located underneath the pan door. Also your electrical cord reel and Husky foam system. In that foam system, you'll find a visual sight gauge down in the lower portion, difficult to see in this image. As we move to the cab, this is a non-walking surface. It may be slippery, so that's why we have some additional placards here indicating that this is a non-walking surface. And now a rear portion of the turntable area, where you can see the waterway and rotational gears. The next set of images are going to be that of the aerial up and the cab tilted as we look underneath of the chassis area. As we move to the steering and then we move to the engine, your vehicle is equipped with a Cummins X12. Just as a reminder here, the bar located in the lower portion on the frame rail is a safety bar. The intended use for this is when the cab has been fully tilted, place the bar into position. At that point, do not lower the cab onto the safety bar. Maintain equal pressure on both right and left cab cylinders. TAC 4 front suspension. At the rear of the engine, you'll find the oil and transmission fill tubes. At the rear of the battery box is where you'll find the fill location for your hydraulic oil for your cab tilt. The next set of images will have no additional audio. These are just of the under section of the chassis area and pump.
This will conclude the additional chassis images. Congratulations, City of San Luis, Arizona, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 37252. If you have any questions regarding your vehicle, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.